Hey folks, Jon Reed, last shoot of the day, Acumatica Partner Summit, day one. Look who I got Richard Duffy. Oh boy, I know this shoot's not going to disappoint.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
man.
I'll try not to.
There's at least one elephant in the room I can think of right off the bat, which is... What are
Not me.
Yeah. What are two old hacks recognizable from the SAP ecosystem doing at an Acumatica show, right? You left SAP to join Acumatica. Why?
It took me a while to come to the realization that cloud was a reality. You know, I've been around in the ERP industry for years. I remember back in the late 90s when we were talking about hosting and we were calling it application service provision. And I could always see, you know, the sensibility behind that, but it was really, for me, it was about a deployment model, you know, and back in those days it was also about a financing model. But what's really happened lately is I've begun to see how the technology stack is really incredibly important to making that cloud vision a reality. It's not just about deployment.
Right.
And it was only when I started doing the due diligence when Acumatica came to me and said, you know, Richard, do you want to come and join this company in Kirkland? And I started looking around at all the products and looking around at all the applications. I just finished saying to my boss at SAP, I'm here till they carry me out in a box.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the technology stack that Acumatica had, what we could do with the product. And it was just something that I looked at and said, this is going to help me address a whole bunch of things and help me help partners and customers address a whole bunch of business challenges that up until this point it's been impossible to do. And then the icing on the cake was the fact that Acumatica is 100% partner focused, and I've always been a partner guy. I've ran my own partner business for 13 years.
Only sales channel is through the partners. So,
yep, absolutely. Yep. So for me, those two things, when you added them together, it was kind of a perfect storm, and so here I am.
Yep, and you're up to your old tricks. You've shot God knows how many videos already, and you're already doing the stuff you always were known to be doing.
Yeah.
But now, today in the keynote, new CEO, relatively new, John Roscoe, he's pointing out this very interesting phenomenon of the so-called abandoned mid-market with a lot of cloud ERP players aggressively moving up, talking about this huge opportunity. Now, 1 million customers might be a bit of a stretch given that you just passed 1,000 today, but I couldn't help but look over at you and think, you know what, Richard, like John's talking about some work that you got in front of you, so what are you going to need to do to get partners on board, and like the kind of partners that are really going to make noise? Like, what do they need to hear?
First point is I'm not averse to a challenge. In my background has always come from organisations where big numbers were always par for the course. But I think that the thing is, and what we're seeing already, is that the partners are starting to gravitate towards Acumatica already. You know, we've got the biggest source of partner recruitment for us right now is referrals from other partners. You know, and they're saying, you know, you need to go and take a look at Acumatica. This is a company that gets it. This is a company that understands what working with partners is about.
Why are you saying that they're having bad experiences elsewhere? Or?
Well, I'm not saying it, but they are. You know, because I mean, talk is cheap, and you know, there's plenty of vendors who want to trash talk everybody else. That's not my style. But you know, the partners are coming to us and they're saying, we just don't see the future. We just don't see the commitment. We see these companies trying to prop up their balance sheets at the expense of the vendors. You know, and it makes no sense. I come from the old school of ERP vendors where, you know, people actually cared about a partner. The partner wasn't just a trend line on a spreadsheet either going up or down. You know, you knew who their family was, you knew who all the people were, you knew that they'd mortgaged their house to, you know, to expand the business and stuff like that, and you cared about it and you had a commitment. So to me, that's one of the important pieces. Now, how are we going to get to that number? Right. I think that we're going to have some challenges in the next year to 2 years because many of our partners are still fairly committed to, you know, to their existing products, and so there's going to be quite a bit of resistance. I think it's up to us to prove to those partners that we are the right choice for them, and you know. Again, not to talk about the past too much, but Doug Burgum, the guy who was really the man behind Great Plains Software, he once stood up at a conference that I was a partner for, and he said, you know what, our job is to make sure that our business proposition and our business opportunity is so compelling, you don't have time to do anything else. You don't want to do anything else. I think it's going to take us time to get to that point where people realize it. But that to me is how we're going to get there, by making our business opportunity more compelling.
I was going to say predicament, but challenge is maybe a word you'd prefer. But I think
predicament. I don't mind.
But I think the issue goes beyond Acumatica in the sense services firms I think are at a crossroads. You make it exceptionally easy for companies to build solutions on your platform. You just announced this Cloud XRP, which is a whole other level of that. But at the same time, there's a lot of services firms out there that they don't know the first thing about building solutions. They're not comfortable with this notion of creating content, or if you want to talk about even the cliche of thought leadership.
Yes.
There's this huge thing that's going to have to happen. It's not just we have the best people. It's not going to work anymore.
Yeah.
How are you going to get them through that?
And now it's really a case of we have the best people. Well, sorry, prove it. And the best way to prove it is to put your best people out in front of a camera, get them responsible for creating content. Because, at the end of the day, what wins customers for you is when they know, like, and trust you. And the only way your customer will like you when you give them something of value with no expectation of anything in return. And they'll trust you when you prove that you have capability. And I think for the services firms, they have that. They have the capability and they have the knowledge. But the new consumption model is, you've got to put that out there in front of customers. So, not to the point where you've got a chief content officer or something like that, but somebody inside the organization really has to stand up and say, this is important to us, this is what we're going to do about it. I'm going to find the evangelists inside our organization, I'm going to put them in front of a camera, and we're going to take some of those things which we call, intellectual property, which we like to hide behind the curtain. We're going to put it out there for the world to see. I never worry about competition. A lot of the feedback I used to get from people was, you're putting all these things out there, your competitors are going to see it. Well, if competitors want to see what we have to offer, knock yourself out. Go to adn.acumatica.com, go to tryacumatica.com/Acumatica, and you can knock yourself out. Get access to a full live version of Acumatica, see all of our source code, see all of our documentation, all of our training materials, because if people really want to see it, they're going to find it. Let's make it easy.
Tell me if you agree or disagree with this. We'll kind of wrap on this segment. I've been to a number of shows where I've been very well aware of vendor solutions, and when I kick tires on them, they say they're cloud, but you dig in and it feels a lot like hosting in some sexified way. And I'm like, you don't have a marketing problem, but you have a product problem. When I scratch underneath, I don't like what I see in terms of cost of maintaining, in terms of ability to be agile, so to speak. Then I go to Acumatica, I listen to these partners talking about things like 2-hour upgrades, testing in 10 hours. There was a firm talking about disaster recovery in the middle of a hurricane. They were able to keep their business going through working at like Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. And I'm thinking, you guys don't have a product problem, you have a marketing problem. Is that wrong? Is that the wrong way to put it?
Well, not necessarily. In our industry, we are well known for hot air. Okay, so maybe it's a good combination, cloud and hot air. But I think the thing for us is that we spend a lot of time focusing on the build. Okay, getting our partners active, getting our product right, getting customers happy, getting demonstrable capability, making sure we can walk the talk. Whereas a lot of people, they like to talk it up first, and then when somebody's paying, then they'll deliver. So we focused on delivering first. So now we're actually at that next point with what you saw around 5.0, the next release of our product. We're now, you heard Aaron Dimitri, who was the customer from AME, talking about disaster recovery. He started off on version 1.8 of Acumatica. We're now on 5.0. We've gone a long way with the product, and we're now in a position where we can actually go out and start talking about these things, and we can put customers in front of you. We can put customers in front of other prospective customers, and they can tell a story which is based on fact, which is based on truth, which is based on reality, and it's not based on, well, here's what we want you to say, can you craft your story to match our script? These are real stories from real people who are getting a real business benefit, and to me, that's awesome. I love doing those customer panels and hearing those stories, because that's when the rubber meets the road. That's when
Yep.
you say, you know what, all this stuff that we've been working towards, here is a real customer
Yep.
dealing with the hurricane, and it was Hurricane Sandy, I think he was talking about, and he was saying, he said things are terrible. Things are terrible, but business is going great.
Yep, absolutely. Well, fair enough. Let's come back next year, see how you did. What do you
Okay,
say?
I look forward to it.
All right, cool. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.